Hey kids! Welcome to the almost 15k Q&A! It rhymes and that's the only reason I'm calling it that. Welcome to the cringe hell, where you get to ask your local idiot questions and pick my brain for your own entertainment. Alright, let's go.
Greetings, Mali. How do you calm your fears when recording? I've struggled a few times getting audio done and was hoping you had some tips or tricks.
Well, I got drunk a few times for it. Don't do that, that's not good advice. Okay, so my only real suggestion is just to keep at it. I know that's not... Let me explain before you click off. Hold on. The first times I started recording, I was afraid to even speak at the microphone. It kind of felt like really nerve-wracking and unnatural. But nowadays, after doing it so often, I don't feel that at all. It really does come down to just adjusting to it as time goes on. In terms of immediate advice you can apply now, I'd say just talk to yourself out loud for a while, in the car, at home, whatever you can do. Just listen to yourself out loud and try to get used to speaking to no one. I also found it helps if you just record yourself rambling your train of thought out loud. It gets you used to the mic as well as listening back to yourself later. Next, don't be afraid to re-record, do double takes, don't worry about saying the same thing multiple times, and slow down. For me, I found that I was rushing through my early recordings as much as I could. I didn't do it on purpose, it was just kind of a nervous habit to gush it all out as quickly as possible, so force yourself to slow down. Take a few deep breaths. I'm speaking to myself now because I'm doing it again. Take a few deep breaths and just know that you can take your time with this. You're in control of the audio and you don't need to get it all done quickly or in one take. You're not standing up on a stage giving a presentation. You can slow down, take breaths. There could be long silences in your audio. You'll just cut it out later. Gather yourself and try again. A cup of tea also definitely helps. Anyways, I hope any of that was of help to you. Good luck with your recordings.
What got you interested in doing a YouTube channel? What made you want to start your content and who were your inspirations?
Oh boy, this is about to become an unofficial autobiography, isn't it? So originally I wanted to start a web series like Eddsworld when I was like 10 or so, I think. Then I started watching storytime YouTubers like Jaden Animations around late high school to early uni, and I decided that I wanted to give that a try. I wasn't very good at it, case in point. But I like to think that I've been coming into my own with my content now that I have a little bit more experience with it, even if only minorly.
What got you interested in commentary?
Bit of a follow-on from the last question I wanted to address in a little more detail for this channel. So Pondus Broccoli is probably to blame for this one, so thanks for that. I'm having so much fun. Anyway, that's not entirely fair. I was always an opinionated twat, and I was also watching a lot of long-form video essay content about video games and internet culture that I distantly wanted to emulate. What finally tipped me over the edge into actually starting to make commentary was kind of twofold. So first I made a video going over the fandom craze around a homicidal suit man, but then I wanted to try and discuss how badly a storytime creator by the name of Spetchy, I believe they go by Speggy now, but I haven't been keeping up with it, so don't quote me on that. Basically, she got lambasted by the community, which then led to me wanting to try and do something retrospective and supportive after I kind of had a step back and was like, this was needless and cruel. And you may see a lot of that in my content now. That tends to be the angle I come at things from. Just quick fact, kids, I don't do exposed videos. Please stop asking me. It's not happening. And then due to that video being made, I got a comment from this hoe. Why is it always you, Rosie? So at this point in time, I was already a relatively big fan of Hopeless Peaches. And so after she commented on this video, I was like, oh my god, senpai, the simp energy was overflowing. And then naturally when I still can't kick that habit, I still call her Rosie. But when Hopeless Peaches drama took off in earnest, I was sitting there in the break room at my part-time job and thought, maybe I can step in and do something positive in the world. Again, long story short, kind of dropped the ball on that one. Didn't do so great, but it was my first step into commentary in earnest, and since then I hope I have improved. So TLDR, I blame Rosie and Ponder for my existence in this space, and as for why I stick at commentary as a whole, despite very much turning away from some of the more drama-heavy topics, hopefully, I'm just a girl that can't shut the fuck up, and I intend to make that everyone else's problem.
How did you get into drawing? What was the reason you decided to become an artist?
So much anime. Too much anime. Like, I'm not even kidding. In my last year of primary school, which no, I will not be translating for the American education system because I do not know how that works. But right before high school started, we had a substitute teacher for one lesson, a singular lesson this man showed up for, and he showed us how to draw the most generic anime eyes in existence. If I have the energy, I will recreate them for you here. Bam! That is what they looked like. And I decided it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen in my 10-year-old brain. So yeah, that's it. There's no romance or poetry or inspiration here. Just shitty 80s style anime eyes on a blackboard. My origin story is truly awe-inspiring.
Why the name Mal?
Oh boy, okay, so this is a story. Settle in, kids. This one's a bit convoluted. Some of you may be aware of this story. Please skip to this timestamp if that is the case. But for those of you that give a shit, when I was a little Mally, as I may have mentioned before, I was a violent twat, and again, long story short, I broke a kid's nose with my mini Mally fists. He was a good mate of mine, and there was no bad blood between us, just, you know, nose blood. Anyway, one suspension from school later, I baked him a whole bucket of, and yes, I do mean bucket, of macarons as an apology. Those are these little cake things here. I made the soft versions. I don't know what they're actually called, but I made those. They're like little squishy macarons. Like, you know how macarons have that hard outer shell? Yeah, they were squishy versions. Thinking about that now, they're probably not macarons. My entire life is a fucking lie. Anyway, moving on from that. So I brought him this bucket of imposter macarons as an apology, and he said, and I quote, "If you make me these whenever you break my nose, can you hit me again?" That led to another friend of mine suggesting that I was Malice and Macarons because of this event, and I loved that so much that I adopted it as my username online. And that was my exclusive handle online until about when I decided to start doing commentary. Great decision, Mally. You did an oopsie with that one, buddy. Anyway, so I didn't want to mess up my main YouTube account, and thus I made the Mali-Malware account, which is where you are now. I chose this one because I got to keep my name, Mally, and because malware just made sense because of the content and the glitch aesthetic. We die for the aesthetic here. And to give you a bit of additional detail on why it was Malice and Macarons, obviously Malice because violence punch, pretty standard, but also because it sounded a lot like Alice. But shh, that's a story for later. That's next time. We can talk about that later. So yeah, my origin story for where my online handle came from is a lot more interesting than my art origins.
What are some OCs you've had over the years? How many OCs do you have? Do you...
Oh god, just so many OCs. All the OCs. So many OCs. I cannot carry all these OCs. I've got DC OCs, Outlast OCs, Original OCs, Gravity Falls, Pokemon, Homestuck, Evil Within, Resident Evil, Undertale, Bioshock, you name it, I've probably had an OC for it at some point. I think Digimon's in there somewhere too, actually. Anyway, some of them I held on to and made into new content, others I look back on fondly but will never touch again, and some I just laugh and cringe at because they were so obviously a teenager's OCs. You know what, maybe if you kids want to suffer one day, I'll take you through the lineup. I'll show you the lineup of my OCs, and as a tantalizer of the cringe that could be, enjoy... I'm going to pick one from the ether. Enjoy this panel of a Resident Evil OC comic I started in high school. You're welcome. Okay.
Do you watch your friends' videos or consume their content?
Yeah, of course. I mean, well, mostly. So a good chunk of my online friends were creators before I got to know them, and I find I tend to befriend people when I like their content already, so it just makes sense that I then continue to watch their content once we are friends. And if I really, really don't like their content, but I really, really like them, I'll just throw the video on in the background and put it on mute. Like, I'll get them that ad revenue. That's my advice. If you like someone but you don't want to watch their content, just throw it on mute in the background. I know a couple of my real life friends do that for my content too, so like, pass it around the love.
What is your favorite DreamWorks movie?
Alright bro, this isn't even a competition, it's How to Train Your Dragon, the entire trilogy, but obviously more so the first movie. I know there's shows and stuff, but I'm not interested in those at all. I just watch Audrey Greywin's videos if I want to know what's happening in the extended How to Train Your Dragon universe. I mean, there is also Spirit and the Prince of Egypt, Road to El Dorado, which are all definitely good options, but yeah, still How to Train Your Dragon. Bro, I wish I was better at drawing animals. Draw me a little dragon, bro.
How many wives have you fucked?
I've been informed by my legal counsel I am unable to make a comment on that subject at this time, except to say more than you. Thank you for your interest in my wife count.
What are your favorite memories involving Flash animation and games?
Weirdly enough, there's this hazy memory of a truly awful dating sim game on Newgrounds I found as a kid. It was like a second or third installment of this dating sim series where the girls were super mean and I never picked the right gifts for them and they were always in the high school hallway for some reason and like you fucking died or something if you didn't get one of them in the end. I'm sorry, I can't give more details. That game kind of just like haunts me as a distant memory of cringe past. If anyone can figure out what it is from that dogshit explanation, please let me know because I demand to see it again. Update, I fucking found it. It's literally the first thing that comes up when you search Newgrounds dating sim. It was this fucking thing. As for other Flash games, not really. Probably Numbers Up, which, oh my god, Okay, guys, let me know you watched the video by telling me if you played numbers. I need to know. Who are my fellow boomers? We're not boomers, what are we? My fellow millennials, did you play Numbers Up? Come on, you gotta level with me here. So Numbers Up and Sugar Sugar were probably the other two games I remember most fondly from those days. I can just tell the younger children have no fucking idea what I'm talking about. If you're under 22 right now, you are bamboozled, I guarantee.
Who is your favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero? The Flash. I love The Flash. I got into DC Comics because I love the Flashpoint animated movie that much. I actually now own a bunch of DC Comics, mainly Flash related. Runner-up favorite is Batman because it's Batman. And bonus extra answer, because I can't shut up, my favorite supervillain overall is Riddler with Reverse Flash as the runner-up. You get it? He's second place speedster. Okay, I'll shut up now.
Any books, shows, or games you've been enjoying recently?
Owl House. Duh. I haven't actually been strong enough to watch the last 2 episodes yet, but definitely Our House. I may actually go and watch it immediately after recording this. If that is the case, I will tell you how much I cried in the pinned comment. Other than that, I've been watching Gravity Falls on repeat for a while now. I watched it for the first time about half a year ago, and I just haven't stopped watching it since. As for games, it's gotta be Minecraft. Cult of the Lamb obviously gets an honorable mention in there as well. And books, I have actually got a couple sitting in front of me physically right now, and I haven't opened a single one. I think it's like it's a pile of about like 9 high, and I just keep adding more books to it, and I don't read any of them. I just reach for the 3rd journal again. I just keep rereading the 3rd journal and fan fiction, to be honest. Actually, hold on, let me go over to my pile real quick. Hold on. Alright, let me see here. Alright, I've lied to you all. I've lied to you all. I'm sorry, I've lied to all of you. All the books have actually been packed away because I'm planning to move soonish. Whoops, I forgot about that. I have a couple over there, but it's more like 5 instead of the 10 or 20 I had before. So, yeah, I lied to you. What are you gonna do about it?
What is your opinion on fan animations?
Opinion on fan animations? I love them, obviously. I love them so much. My entry point to fandoms mostly comes from fan art and specifically animations. The Dream SMP? Blame Sadist. Homestuck? It's Toasty Glow's fault I'm here. Outlast? Blame a very specific fan artist that did Blair stuff, which I cannot talk about online in public because, it's not life friendly. But anyway, the point is, I think that fan art and fan animation specifically should be spread around and lauded by the original creators as much as humanly possible. It's such a pure display of admiration and affection that gets more and more people interested in something they otherwise may have never looked at twice. I guarantee you, I would be sitting here in front of you, in front of our Lord and Savior in 2023, telling you that the Dream SMP is cringe and that Homestuck was bad without having watched or read any of it if I had not seen those animations. I tell you this now because I know myself, I would be that bitch. So animators are out here doing the Lord's work. It's free promotion. Get in on it. It's also a really great community boiling pot, I find, and anytime there's a multi-animator project in the works, I want to jump in, but I know I can't. But okay, yeah, so that's like a really, really long way of saying I like them. 10 out of 10.
Where did you come from first? Do you have any fond, embarrassing, or creepy memories from those other platforms?
Oh, where did I first come from? Club Penguin. No, I will not elaborate on that. But seriously, my start online was mostly on roleplay forums, and to be honest, it's not a very good memory. I might very well talk about it as a cautionary tale sometime, but safe to say it was not a very safe introduction to the internet for me. A little after that, I was on DeviantArt like most young artists, and the usual cringe flowed on from there. But oddly enough, I pretty much had no drama on DeviantArt, which I don't know how, because everyone else I speak to about DeviantArt, they're like, oh, I came from the trenches. And I'm like, what? Why were you in the trenches? I wasn't in no trenches. I had exactly 1 drama on DA, and it lasted like 3 message exchanges, and that was it. I don't know where everyone else was going to get their drama, but I did not get it there. So yeah, sorry if this answer is a little bit middling, but if I talk about my past online properly, it's gonna have to be a sit-down, arms-crossed avatar type video. So maybe later.
What is your favorite video you've made, or one you'll always be very proud of?
I am so very glad you asked, because now I get to shill. So my favorite video that I've ever made is the animation I did of me freaking out about megalodons. I made this video, Actually, hold on, this leads back okay, I'm sorry, I'm rambling, because I have 2 things I need to discuss, and they're both kind of funny, but also serious, so The Megalodon video is my favorite for a couple of reasons. I just think it's funny in general. I would scream about Megalodons not being in the Mariana Trench any day of the week. It has one of my mates in it with me. When it was recorded, I was very, very sick. I was at the peak of my endo chronic pain, and my friend had come to see me, and I remember that time fondly in a very dark period, so it has that kind of emotional sentiment as well. And then on top of that, I was working on that video in my hospital bed the night after my surgery. Why? It was so bad. It was so bad. Which leads me into part 2 of this answer, which is the video I am most proud of, I guess, would have to be my 2020 storytime video, just because it's a bit like a time capsule of me of that time. It was a video made during that specific event in my life, so it means a lot to me in hindsight. It summarizes everything that was happening health-wise, family-wise, life-wise at the time. And it's probably also the one that makes me most proud of myself, because I've had a few people since come to me and express that it helped them in some way too. Usually young women coming forward and going, oh my god, I had no idea that endometriosis was a thing, and I watched your video and holy shit, it's me. Now I'm going to the doctor to see if I can get treated, and it thrills me because it is a very, very, very common condition among women, and so often it gets brushed off because it's either misunderstood or diminished as women's troubles. Like, oh, it's fine, you're in pain, you're a woman. Get used to it, honey, pain is part of life. So yeah, that's definitely the video I'm most proud of in that regard. And final easy answer, I really like my Axe Storytime video, just because it was a really large project and I got to work with a mate of mine on the audio for it, so I like it for that reason. Sorry, this answer got like a lot more sincere and rambly than some of the others. Can you tell I didn't script this one?
Any story times you're comfortable sharing?
Oh, all the story times. Did you not listen to the rambling above the previous question? Was that not just a mini story time poorly delivered? But yes, I will bore you with all the story times. Don't you worry. If there's one thing you can count on, it's that I'll never shut the fuck up about myself. Narcissism for the win. You want any specific stories? Just let me know. I'll be sure to bore you with them in excruciating detail.
Do you have any favorite games?
You come in... Listen here, chat. You come into my video and ask me about favorite video games? You haven't been paying attention, son! It's Bioshock! No, but for real, it is Bioshock. Bioshock is like 80% of my personality, and I am going to make that your problem until the end of time, yes. Honorable mentions for video games that I am very fond of. Resident Evil, Pokemon, Harvest Moon, Outlast, and Minecraft. No shock. If it's a story-driven horror game, I am there. But yeah, Bioshock is definitely a very large part of my life, and I am terrified of the movie and the 4th game that are apparently in the works. Oh, I'm scared. I'm so scared. Catch me crying on Twitter when they drop. Am I gonna give them my money? Yes, because I'm a simp.
Will there be any projects you make where you would want aid from multiple artists?
Yes. The short answer, yes. God, yes. I would love to run specifically multi-animator projects, or even a fanzine. Also, quick note on multi-animator projects, we really need a better acronym for that. No, I will not elaborate. If you know, you know. I've even tossed around some ideas of having other artists jump onto my, general videos, be that the animation videos or the commentary videos, which I tend to sneak animation into anyway, just because I like having more people working on my content, be that because I really like their content, I want to make connections, and I'm socially inept. But yeah, it is definitely something that I really enjoy and really want to do, but as I previously mentioned, artists tend to get fucked over monetarily and with time and all that type of thing, and I don't have the kind of money to give people the payment that they're owed for their time and work. As soon as I do, I will absolutely bring more people on, but typically I can only afford to work with one other person on any given project at a time, be that an editor or a sound design person. Usually Katie's my go-to for that. Katie Stanley, again, some of you will know her. Short answer, yes, I would absolutely like to. Long answer, yes, but I only want to do it if I can do right by the other artists involved. Oh, another one I should mention real quick as well is voice actors. So yeah, a mate of mine who you definitely already know, Kelly Mara, has been working on her project Wild Ward that has animators and all that involved as well. Again, links, images, check them out. I've also watched Brie do a similar thing in the past, and so yeah, I would absolutely love to have voice actors involved in an animation project, but again, money for the voice actors. You gotta pay people correctly. I know a few of you, I sense you in the distance being like, oh, but we'll do it for free. I understand that. I understand that. But you need to be paid for your services. So we'll put a bookmark in that one. We'll come back to that one later. If there's ever a project out, I will incessantly nag you guys about it, so don't worry, you will hear about it.
You often put effort into making short animations in a few of your videos. What inspired you to learn how to animate?
I'm actually not really sure about this one. As soon as I started drawing, I just always saw animation as the natural conclusion. I didn't really consider any other medium. I wasn't interested in illustration or painting or sculpture. I was only ever interested in animation, be that 2D or 3D. I guess maybe we can blame anime and Vocaloid for that. Mostly I blame YouTube animators for that. As for why I put animation in my commentary videos, I suppose it's because it just feels like me. I've played around recently with more traditional quote-unquote commentary content like the Mali Minutes, just using gameplay footage and doing short-form content, and I guess this video as well will be similar to that. And I found that I like it, but it doesn't feel like a Mali-Malware video, if that makes sense and isn't too pretentious. Ooh, she punches a mic. It's not a Mali-Malware video without a mic punch. Or 10. So things like the animation at the beginning and end of the Dream SMP video, or the cutaways in my commentary videos, just feel like something that need to be in my content, or it doesn't feel like I've completed that video. You could call it a compulsion, maybe? I don't always have the energy to do it, of course, and I will cut corners a lot. For example, there would absolutely be no animation here. Why do you do that? Anyway. But if it's a big project or something I'm just really passionate about, adding animation is almost a must for me, or the video won't exist. It's also why I update so infrequently. I am my worst enemy.
You seem to enjoy the horror genre quite a bit. What is the earliest horror fiction / show / movie you can remember really enjoying / what got you into horror?
Earliest horror, that's a hard one. So, I know as a kid I was freaked out by the scarab scene and the mummy, and I watched stuff like the Creature miniseries and Jaws, which Google the Creature miniseries, just do it, enjoy it, it's so bad, it's wonderful. But I can't really pinpoint what got me into horror to begin with. I've always liked telling and hearing scary stories, so like Gruesome Tales for Grizzly Kids was a good example of that, and I remember getting in lots of trouble for putting that on in kindergarten and scaring the other kids. In my defense, I was left alone with the remote. What did they want from me? I also got in a lot of trouble when my family and I would go away on camping trips or to the snow, and I would tell the horror stories to the other kids, and then they would wake up screaming at night, and then the parents would complain to my parents, and they would be like, stop. And then I wouldn't, because I suck. So it's a little bit like animation, I guess, where it feels innate. I love horror, and there's a sort of fascination to the dark and terrible that I just can't explain the source of. That said, I don't really much like gore, nor do I enjoy what I would consider mean-spirited horror. So things like the Saw franchise don't really inspire— ooh, she's hit the mic again, let's go for 10. So things like the Saw franchise, for example, don't really inspire anything in me besides mild irritation. I much prefer Lovecraftian horror or psychological terror. I don't find anything that interesting in the cruelty of humans, if that makes sense. The derangement of humans, absolutely, but the cruelty I find very surface level barren. It's like, yes, I get it. Stop showing me innards. I don't care. This doesn't inspire any interest in me. So like on the flip side of Saw, The Thing comes to mind, because that's very much an example of humanity's inner failings and how we can tear each other apart. And while it does have grotesque body horror elements, it's more to do with the distortion of the human figure rather than I'm holding a lung or I'm using a knife to stab someone. Like, it's just— I'm sorry, forgive me. I have gone off topic again. I have rambled. It has happened. Welcome to my channel. This is all there is. Back on topic. If anything, my earliest memory of horror comes from my own sleep paralysis, demons, and night terrors, so I guess I was just born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's childhood trauma. Who knows?
What kind of music do you enjoy?
All sorts, actually. I don't really have a specific genre that I like more than others. I'm a pretty big fan of comedy songs, things like Tom Cardy, or I guess, yes, Wilbur DPR series. I also like indie song makers, like— oh no, I cannot pronounce her name. I never can. This one, you probably know her as the person that made the banger songs for the Dream SMP, but she makes her own music and it's really good. I would recommend Pomegranate Lips or maybe Froggy Song. They're both really good. Check them out. Then naturally there's my girl Barb, who again I shilled earlier in this, and her band, the Blackout Fun Club. And of course, naturally, it wouldn't be a Mali video without showing my extra cringe. I have a soft spot for Vocaloid and sea shanties. But in general, I can't really narrow down my taste in music to any one group. I love me a bit of early 2000s pop songs, meme songs, theatre music, Australian rap in some instances. It's just all over the place.
Favorite type of potato?
Mashed potato. There's just nothing more comforting than mashed potato, and I will die on that hill.
If you had infinite money, time and resources, what would you choose to create and why?
I'd basically just make every project that my mate Paragon and I have ever discussed over the years. I'd throw so much money behind us, we'd have a game out by the end of this year. As for more personal projects, I'd just make better versions of what I already make. I'd love to hire more artists and editors properly, less for the actual content they make, but more because then I could give all those talented mates of mine a proper payday that they deserve, and keep more small artists employed, and just, God, if I had all the money and time in the world, I'd just become Walt fucking Disney minus the racism, and create a small community of artists to create content and just pay them well. We'd make a village, it'd be great. As for the content itself, think lots more essays, video game projects, ARGs, group RP projects like Manhunt, maybe a short film here and there, fully animated series, both 3D and 2D, and music, and just lots of stuff. I like stuff and things, but now put it on crack with my friends. So yeah, I feel like that's every artist's dream to some degree or another. Maybe they don't all want a village, but I want a village.
Favorite type of fan art?
I'm not sure it's really fair to say, like, all fan art is incredible. The idea that anyone wants to draw any of my content at all is overwhelming and just really sweet. If I had to choose, I guess animation would be my favorite type of fan art, because that's, you know, kind of my background animation, so I have a bias towards it. For example, shout out to this animation of me running with a Stanley Pines pillow. People that know me in real life stumbled across this organically in the wild and hit me up like, yo, this you? It was fantastic. And naturally, I'm a pretty big fan of angsty art too.
What piece of media have you seen or listened to that you're convinced was made for you?
Black Rock Shooter and Toradora both emotionally destroyed me, and no, I will not elaborate, they just broke me. And more recently, I feel specifically very called out by Gravity Falls in regards to the Stanley character. It is a bit of a meme that I simp for old men, but on a more genuine note, I've never actually seen a character that so perfectly encompasses the way I felt through my teens and early adulthood. Although I do like to think I managed the communication aspect with my Ford better than Stan did. If you know those two, you probably get my meaning, but that's a essay for another day.
How real are you? Are you a result of our collective imagination? Do you actually exist?
Shh. Don't question it, darling. It's better if you just stay asleep and enjoy the dream.
Mal, where the fuck is the voidling law? You promised us voidling law.
Anyway, next. Guys, please, I'm sorry, I'll get to it eventually. Please, don't kill me. Call up the hitman.
Would you sing while you're alive?
Maybe. I've been getting more into singing recently, and I even picked up my old guitar again. I do want to make more music-related content and maybe sing for you guys, but I am acutely aware of how rusty and undertrained I am. So, short answer, I'd like to. Long answer, I'm scared but working towards it. In the meantime, you can check out my Your New Boyfriend cover if you want to hear me struggling through singing.
Have you ever been nervous before uploading a video? If so, then what do you do to calm yourself down?
So I feel a little bit bad about answering this one because I don't actually have a solution for you. When it comes to uploading content, it's almost never a fun experience for me. Just let me explain that, because otherwise you might be sitting here like, Mal, why do you make shit then? I will explain. So I have this set cycle when it comes to uploading videos. They become the most important thing in my entire world for at least a full 24 hours before they're posted. Usually because I'm impatient and tend to release things the second they're done. And then after that, I pretty much immediately try to go to sleep after posting the video because it fills me with dread to think about its reception. Then when I wake up, I pretty much immediately fall into something like a post-upload depression. It's kind of like clockwork. I always feel my lowest after posting a video, and although it does only usually last a day or two, it's pretty heavy. So whenever I upload, I'm actively signing up for a bad time. As to how I calm myself down before doing it, I don't really. I opt to hit the upload button and run away as fast as I can, be that to sleep or into Minecraft with my notifications turned off. Sometimes if I have to wait on an upload because it's scheduled, I'll go and force myself to do something that demands my entire attention or a good chunk of time. Going to the movies is actually a really good pick because you can lose yourself in whatever you're watching and it demands your full attention for a good chunk of time. So in general, I'd say distract yourself with something you love and it'll help the process a little bit more. Overall, I also want to make a note that you should just do it. Like, I'm sorry, it's a bit like a needle. But if you're creating content that means something to you, even if you're scared, you should still upload it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like you'll regret it far more if you never try in the first place.
What is your dream guy?
My dream person. Let it be known there was like a 5-minute pause before I spoke again after that. Okay, my dream person. I guess we're at the stage of the questions where it's like the teen gossip column. Alright, let's go. So someone with their own life and ambitions that I can create things with, someone with a wicked, funny, maybe a bit deranged sense of humor, someone creative and ready to completely throw themselves into what makes them happiest, someone that doesn't mind a little bit of distance and gets it when hyperfixations kick in for a project, someone that is my friend first and hopefully not an axe murderer. The axe murderer thing isn't a deal breaker though, I can work around that. And I guess I'll throw on the end here, seeing as we're talking relationships. I've never had one. Kind of. That's a little unfair. I've had one, and it was an internet dating relationship. I'm gonna cut that. Alright, so these next questions will be the speed round. Alright, here we go. Short answers. Let's get this done.
What would be your favourite Sonic character?
Gun.
Will you make a tier list of monsters you want to monster mash?
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on Lumi?
They mean...
How edgy are you?
The edgiest. You could cut yourself on all this edge.
Are you a dream stand?
I will kill you.
And will you ever finish Dreamwear?
I will kill you.
Will you ever play Elden Ring?
Maybe?
How many grapes can you fit in your mouth?
7 to 15. Do not ask for a demonstration.
What is your I'm broke as hell moment?
That time my family got robbed and I had $500 in my bank account, which was like 2 weeks ago. That was fun. Don't worry though, we're fine now.
Would snitch on Lumi if you went to prison for a crime you didn't commit?
I would snitch on Lumi for free and no reason. In fact, I'm drafting up the call-out post right now.
Are you silly?
Yes.
Wanna be friends?
Yes.
Best Ninjago character?
I don't know, hold on. Wait, what's the best Ninjago character?
The people shall receive that which they have asked. The best character is Cole. No, I do not take criticism. He is best boy. Have you seen him in that lumberjack outfit?
There you go.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how stinky is Harley?
Broke the scale. Stinkiest.
Why are you so awesome?
This is Slender. I'm objectively trash. But also thank you.
Why is the floor on the floor?
Well, where else would it be?
On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to start playing good games?
Fuck you. You don't like Minecraft, Lumi. Skill issue.
Why are you such a dang gremlin?
Eh.
Very important, cookies and cream, chocolate chip or rocky road?
Cookies and cream. No contest.
Persona 5 when?
I have no idea. Eventually?
Will we be able to make you make a proper furry model based on Hock and Lumi's wonderful designs if we pay you?
You cannot afford all the bribe money required for that one.
Best Skittle flavour?
The one's in my mouth at any given point in time. And there we go, that's the Q&A over. The next video will likely be a Mali minutes, but the next proper long form video will either be the final part of the vault situation, or it may also be a video about parasocial relationships. Can you tell which one I'm way more keen to do? But either way, thanks for sitting through the Q&A. If you ever want to throw questions at me, feel free. We have a thing for it in the Discord, which you can join here. Twitch, fucking Twitter, you know, the things, the socials, subscribe buttons, like buttons, smash buttons and stuff. I don't know. Do stuff, please. Anyway, self-indulgent video over. I'll get back to making content you actually care about. I'll see you guys soon. And with that, I'm out. Take care of yourselves, my guys.